The next one's been a huge problem, probably for most men, definitely for me, wrath. That is the
Yeah.
uncontrolled anger or hatred that leads to destructive behavior or vengeance. Man, when you get filled with the spirit of wrath, you do not you do not act like your best self by any means.
No.
I used to say proudly, because it was true, and I probably still have this in me. If someone does me wrong intentionally, gets one over on me, I will chop off my hand to chop off their head. That's definition. Uncontrolled anger or hatred that leads to destructive behavior or vengeance. It's self-destructive when you're so wrathful that's like that person did me so wrong that I will hurt my own life to hurt them more. I've had that many, many times in my life.
I've dealt with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I mean,
it's one of the most it's one of the most definitely one of the most powerful draws because it makes no sense to let someone get away with something, right? Like just a
right,
logical sense. Like, man, if I don't punch them for that, then I'm a punk. And
right.
that gives them a license to keep doing it. But there are definitely better ways to handle it. Like, hey, I'll just do better than him. I don't need to hurt my own life to hurt him, destroy my reputation, make people scared to be around me. I can simply say, okay, I'm just going to win bigger, win harder, and ignore you. That's really my best defense against wrath. When someone does me wrong at this point, no wrath, not going to chop my hand off to chop your head off. I'm going to erase you from my life. If you get on Facebook and say something bad happened to me, I'm not even going to see it. Like, I'm not going to say, you deserved it because you did this to me. Your time's coming. No, I'm not talking to them anymore. They've done me wrong. I'm done with it. I don't need the spirit of wrath to have vengeance upon them. The vengeance is they have been shunned. They've shown me their true colors, and I'm not going to associate with them. I always say there's 7 billion people on the planet. I don't have to talk to that one.
Right.
That's not a problem for me. But wrath used to be a huge issue. That's a big ass Pepsi.
It's the 1 liter.
I'm only having one. Now it's a 2 liter, but after
Yeah.
this, I'm
So
done.
wrath for me has always come from a core belief of me feeling like I was a loser growing up. And
That was the origin of
yeah,
your
yeah,
wrath.
for my wrath because I told myself I was a loser my whole life growing up. I always said nobody can tell me anything because you can't say anything to hurt my feelings because I've already said it. You know, nobody can say anything to me that I haven't already said myself. Well,
Well,
that's
you
where
were
all
also,
my
let me interject real quick. Don't lose your thought, but you're kind of raised like that.
yeah,
You told me stories where you're outside shooting the basketball for an hour, and your dad will get home, and I'm of course paraphrasing. I don't remember it like you did, but he'd be like, "Oh, you're practicing? Yeah, Dad, I just hit 6 shots in a row." Like, well, Michael Jordan wouldn't go until he hit 20, and then he'd just walk in like you didn't do shit. And your grandpa would come back out and be like, "You ready to give up yet?" And you're
yeah,
like, "No." So they kind of made you think you're a loser,
yeah,
not
yeah,
in a mean way. They obviously
right,
wanted you to get better. They loved you a lot, but they were like, "Hey, you're a loser unless you give it your all and then give it your all again and collapse on the court." So that kind of was ingrained in you.
right.